Senator Oluremi Tinubu has donated 1 billion naira to victims of armed invaders' attack in Yelwata community of Goma local government area of Benue State. Recently, over 100 people were reportedly killed on the 9th of June 13 and early hours of June 14 in the rural Yelwata community, prompting the First Lady's donation to help survivors rebuild their lives. Mrs. Tinubu, who made the donation during a condolence visit to the state held today at the new banquet hall of the Government House Makurdi, also pledged support from the Renewed Hope Initiative to address cross-border attacks and ensure that affected children returned to school. Earlier, the First Lady was received at the Tactical Air Command, Nigerian Air Force Base, Makurdi, around 10:45 a.m. by Governor Hyacinth Alia and other top government officials. Speaking at the event, the paramount ruler of TIV Nation Worldwide for TIV, Professor James Ayache, decried the continued attacks on Benue communities, describing them as a genocidal war, and accused Nasarawa State of serving as a base for the assailants while calling for urgent action. In his remarks, Governor Alia lamented the humanitarian crisis resulting from the attacks and renewed calls for the establishment of state police to allow for quicker response to security. The governor also urged the federal government to adopt ranching as a national policy to curb farmer-herder conflicts. Responding, Mrs. Tinubu promised to work with the wife of the Nasarawa State governor to find solutions to the recurring cross-border crisis. She announced that her Renewed Hope initiative would support displaced children's education and community recovery. A two-day orientation and training workshop on effective traffic management and control for safer roads has been held in Asaba for the officials of Delta State Traffic Management Authority, DETSMA consultants from different zones within the state. The event took place in Asaba. Nobet Onweme reports.
The workshop was aimed at improving effective traffic control by the Delta State Traffic Management Agency. In a keynote address, the Director General of DESMA, Honorable Benjamin Okemute Essien, said that the agency was fully committed to improving the traffic operational services in the state and sued for maximum cooperation of all. Honorable Okemute Essien advocated the need to train and retrain the consultants for efficiency in job performance.
The unique nature of DESMA, wherever that is going to be in the forefront for DESMA must know the rules, the laws, the norms, and the value of DESMA. You are here so that wherever you are going to be, you will remember that you are representing an agency, an authority of DESMA. As you live here, whatever you are going to benefit from this trip should be applied in your zone.
The DESMA director charged the consultants present at the workshop to extend the knowledge gained to the junior staff in their various zones so as to represent the agency effectively in their daily operational services. Some participants expressed satisfaction with the training and thanked the management for organizing the workshop, promising to put the knowledge acquired into maximum use.
Lectures taught us how to manage the road users to obey traffic rules and regulations.
It was a good one. I think he exposed me into more about safety. I should be conscious about safety, and I think I will sell that to people around me.
Participants were lectured on modern trends in road traffic management. The event featured questions and answers session. Nobet Onweme reporting.
The state government has called on youth in Iwulu community and Nyocha South local government area to remain law-abiding and uphold the tenets of their customs and traditions. The special advisor to the state governor on peace building and conflict resolution, Chief Edwin Uzo, made the call during an appreciation visit by Iwulu youth to the state peace building team at his office in Asaba. Henry Onogo reports.
Chief Uzo, who received the youths, expressed satisfaction with the visit and emphasized the state government's unwavering commitment to ensuring peace in all communities as a foundation for sustainable development. He revealed that the Ewulu youths had shown remorse for their past actions against their traditional ruler and had requested that the peace team mediate a reconciliation meeting with the monarch, pledging to support the traditional institution moving forward. The special advisor commended the youth for demonstrating maturity by appointing a spokesperson and reiterated that the delay in inaugurating a peace committee was due to the traditional ruler's refusal to endorse certain names who had previously opposed him, and urged the youths to maintain peace and work harmoniously with their traditional leaders to pave way for community progress.
Around the state, there are some skirmishes here and there where youths are raising up against their traditional rulers. We condemn that act, condemn it in its totality. We've advised that every youth to respect a constituted authority. If there's an issue that they are not clear with, they should pass through the right channel to find out what is happening. That they should not be walking by mere hearing, mere saying, and begin to act, begin to carry out unnecessary protests.
Earlier, the Ewulu youths expressed gratitude to the peace building team for their role in restoring calm to the community and introduced Mr. Kevin Afamefune as their new youth leader and assured the government of their readiness to be law-abiding and respectful of traditional norms.
I've known how you have been trying to bring back peace to the aggrieved youths and the aggrieved elders and everybody back in our home in the village. So I've come to say thank you. Very much thank you.
Henry Onogwa reporting.
The Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, has issued a 21-day notice of total and indefinite strike over the alleged failure of the federal government to address its long-standing demands. The action, the association in a communique released following its emergency delegates meeting EDM held in Abuja, expressed deep disappointment over the protracted negotiations with the government on issues affecting doctors' welfare across the country. The communique signed by the NMA President, Professor Bala Audu, and the Secretary General, Dr. Jamin Ebo, cited several unresolved issues, including the suspension rather than withdrawal of a recent circular by the National Salaries, Income and Wages Commission, NSIWC, which the association had opposed. The meeting was convened by the National Officers Committee, NOC, of the association in response to the NSIWC circular on the review of the consolidated medical salary structure for doctors. The EDM, after extensive deliberations, unanimously condemned the federal government's approach to the welfare of its members and the persistent neglect of issues affecting Nigerian doctors. They issued a 21-day notice of total and indefinite strike. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, has reported a total of 152 deaths from Lassa fever in the first 28 weeks of 2025. This marks a higher case fatality rate CFR of 18.7% compared to 17.3% within the same period in 2024. According to the latest situation report released by the NCDC via its official website, 811 confirmed cases and over 6,520 suspected infections have been recorded so far. The Public Health Agency said that the cases span 21 states and 105 local government areas, with the highest burden concentrated in Ondo, Bauchi, Edo, Taraba, and Ebonyi State. It also indicated possible late presentation, poor health-seeking behavior, and limited access to early treatment as contributing factors. The agency said that in epidemiological week 28 alone, 11 new confirmed cases and 1 death were recorded, with reported infections from Ondo, Edo, and Benue states. It said that no healthcare workers were affected during the week. The NCDC said that individuals aged 21 to 30 years remained the most affected age group, with a nearly equal male-to-female distribution of cases. In response to the ongoing outbreak, the agency and its partners have intensified interventions in high-burden areas. It said that environmental campaigns and community sensitization activities were underway in collaboration with Nigeria Health Watch, WHO, Pro Health International, Institute of Human Virology Nigeria, IHVN, and other key partners. Meanwhile, the agency had launched its Infection Prevention and Control IPC e-learning platform, supported by the Global Fund. It distributed IPC materials and medical countermeasures such as ribavirin, personal protective equipment, PPEs, and disinfectants to state and treatment. The Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, has commenced a nationwide promotion exercise involving over 2,000 personnel. A statement by the Corps Public Education Officer, CPEO, Mr. Olusegun Ogunbemide, yesterday in Abuja said that the exercise was one of the most far-reaching staff promotion exercises in the history of the Corps, as the ongoing promotion exercise, which cuts across all sectors of the Corps, would see about 2,000 officers and marshals being considered for elevation to their next ranks. He said this was ranging from the rank of Chief Route Commander down to Assistant Route Commander and other marshal cadres, adding that the development will not only restore hope among officers but also reinforce the culture of reward for diligence, dedication, and integrity. He said that the ongoing promotion wave was meticulously planned to ensure transparency, inclusiveness, and fairness, with all qualified personnel across the 12 zonal commands included in the process. The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, has ordered local and international airlines operating in Nigeria to comply with the first need compensation regulation where a passenger's luggage is short-landed. Short-landed baggage refers to checked baggage that is accidentally left behind at the origin airport and arrives on a later flight. Part 19 of the Civil Aviation Regulation 2023 provides that affected local passengers are paid 10,000 naira and international passengers $170 in the event of landed baggage. For international airlines, they have a window to pay the amount defined in the terms of carriage failure, which attracts $170 without reduction. This is to enable passengers to purchase basic needs before their baggage arrives. The Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, NCAA, Mr. Michael Chimugu, at a meeting held at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, with the regional managers of domestic airlines in attendance, said henceforth the authority would sanction airlines that refuse to comply with the first need compensation policy. He encouraged the airlines to always pay the first need to impacted passengers before they escalate to the authority. The Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, has threatened to delist 100,000 companies from its register over prolonged inactivity and non-compliance with statutory requirement under the Companies and Allied Matters Act, CAMA. The move forms part of the Commission's broader effort to sanitize Nigeria's corporate registry and ensure that only active and compliant entities remain in the system. It also aligns with ongoing efforts to enhance transparency in company ownership and governance in line with anti-money laundering standards. A public notice issued by the Commission said the affected companies have been identified as either not carrying on business, inactive for at least 10 years, or failing to meet regulatory obligations, particularly the annual filing of returns and disclosure of persons with a significant control, PSC. The CAC has given a 90-day window from the date of publication for these companies to regularize their status. However, to avoid being struck off, affected companies must promptly file out outstanding annual returns and send activation emails to activation@cac.gov.ng when applicable. Nigeria is betting on its fast-growing creative economy to cement its status as a continental hub for fashion. The Federal Ministry of Art, culture, tourism and the creative economy, in partnership with the Fashion Academy Abuja, announced the launch of a national training program for designers, tailors and creative entrepreneurs. According to the ministry, the training will cover two major areas: pattern making and professional sewing techniques, and fashion business and branding. Organizers say the curriculum is designed not only to sharpen creative talent, but also to prepare participants for the demands of a globalized industry. She described the fashion industry as a key driver of youth employment and cultural diplomacy. The partnership reflects a growing recognition by policymakers that fashion, alongside music and film, has become one of Nigeria's most visible cultural exports. Industry analysts estimate that fashion contributes billions of naira annually to Nigeria's GDP, but many designers struggle to access training, financing, and global markets. The initiative, a part of the government's Creative Leap Acceleration Program, CLAP, will open applications on August 4 and run until August 11, with the goal of equipping participants with both technical and business skills to thrive in the country's competitive fashion sector. Interested applicants are advised to visit the official portal at https://clap.gov.ng for more information on the application process and requirements. Selected participants will undergo hands-on training and mentorship with opportunities to connect to broader business development networks. The federal government may initiate a re-privatization process in Nigeria's 11 electricity distribution companies, DISCOs, if the Electricity Act Amendment Bill 2025, currently under legislative consideration, receives presidential assent. The proposed amendment introduces far-reaching reforms that could compel underperforming private investors to either inject fresh capital into the power sector or forfeit their ownership stakes. The bill, sponsored by Senator Eyinnaya Abaribe, representing Abia South, is a response to the persistent failure of electricity distribution companies to meet service delivery expectations, raise capital for infrastructural upgrades, and address a sector-wide debt burden now estimated at over 4 trillion naira. The bill, which seeks to amend the landmark Electricity Act of 2023, has already passed its second reading in the Senate and is currently undergoing detailed committee review. If passed, the amendment will grant the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, sweeping powers to enforce financial discipline across the sector. These powers include directing core investors in the 11 successor DISCOs to recapitalize their holdings within a 12-month time frame or face punitive measures such as share dilution, receivership, or outright sale of their stakes to new investors. The 11 DISCOs operating in various regions across Nigeria include Abuja, Benin, Eko, Enugu, Ibadan, Ikeja, Jos, Kaduna, Kano, Port Harcourt, and Yola Electricity Distribution Companies. Governor Francis Nwifuru of Ebonyi State has suspended some commissioners, permanent secretaries, senior special assistants, and special assistants for negligence to duties. The breakdown of those suspended include 25 commissioners, 14 senior special assistants, 24 special assistants, and 22 permanent secretaries. In a statement, the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Dr. Mande Uzo, said that the suspension was for 1 month without pay. The Governor also directed that the affected officers should not sign any official document within the period of their suspension, while commissioners should hand over to the respective permanent secretaries. The Governor said the suspension takes immediate effect. You're watching the Delta TV main news at 8. Still to come, United Kingdom to recognize Palestinian state in UN next meeting. Details of this and more after the break. Stay with us.
Is it to open? Is it to squeeze? Is it to scoop and is it to stop? It's just come alive with so much taste.
Sonny and tomato mix in a new standard pouch. Do you know you can now attend a court section in Delta State without ever stepping into a courtroom? Now, Delta State is stepping forward with tech-driven justice. With the sheriff in town championing the MORE agenda, the Ministry of Justice and the judiciary are bringing trials to the people faster, smarter, and more inclusive.
The Delta State government has put together a remote platform for us to be able to help the correctional centers to access the court even while they are not physically present in the court.
Got approval from His Excellency, so the funds were released, the equipment has been purchased. We've done a lot of innovation at Ogwashku.
I appreciate His Excellency, the Governor of Delta State, who has made it possible for the Visual Court to come to Ogwashku Custodial Center.
Justice in Delta is now a click away.
Watching the Delta TV news at 8. The global scene is next as we join our World News Desk.
The United Kingdom Prime Minister Keir Starmer has said the UK will recognize a Palestinian state at a UN meeting in September unless Israel meets certain conditions. He said recognition will happen unless the Israeli government takes substantive steps to end the appalling situation in Gaza, including a ceasefire and a commitment to a long-term peace process. Most countries, about 139 all, formally recognize a Palestinian state, and last week France pledged to do so at the same UN meeting. Earlier, Gaza Hamas Grown Earth Ministry said more than 60,000 Palestinians have now been killed since Israel offensive began. A UN-backed full security body also said the worst-case scenario of famine is currently playing out in Gaza. Israel insists there are no restrictions on aid deliveries and that there is no starvation.
Let's join our business news desk findings in the business sector.
The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria has urged the federal government to prioritize manufacturing and industrialization to reflect the real economic situation and gains of the country's improved rebased gross domestic product. The Director General Man, Mr. Segun Ajayi Kadri, made the call today in Lagos while reacting to Nigeria's GDP growth of 3.13% in the first quarter of 2025. According to Mr. Ajayi Kadri, the modest improvement from 2.27% in the same period of 2024 indicates that the economy is capable of recovery. He, however, noted that the rebased GDP and revised nominal GDP estimates was a direct outcome of improved data capture, especially in agricultural services and informal sector activities. Mr. Jekadre cautioned against interpreting the nominal expansion of the rebate GDP as evidence of significant economic progress. He stated that in spite of the upward revision, real GDP growth remained weak, averaging just 1.95% between 2020 and 2024. This, he said, showed the underlying fragility of Nigeria's productive base and the capacity of the economy to deliver sustainable and inclusive development. Ajayi Kadri urged the government to treat the rebased GDP not as a celebration of growth, but as a strong call for structural industrial reforms.
Governor Sheriff Oborewori has congratulated the Oroje of 8Pm, retired Major General Felix Mujaberwa Orwe I, on the occasion of his 19th coronation anniversary. In a goodwill message signed by his Chief Press Secretary, Sir Festus Ahon, Governor Oborewori, on behalf of the state government, praised the Oroje for his forthrightness, exemplary leadership, uncommon wisdom, fatherly disposition, and statesmanship. He described the monarch's reign as eventful and impactful, not just for the people of Okbe Kingdom, but for Deltans in general. The governor prayed for God's continuous guidance and good health for the revered royal father, wishing him many more years on the ancient throne of Okbe. The Oroje of Okbe, who also serves as the chairman of the Delta State Council of Traditional Rulers, ascended the throne in 2006 and has since become a symbol of unity, peace, and development in the state. Up next is sports with Jude Abeke. Stay tuned.
Good evening and welcome to Sports News. Newly crowned CAF African Women Cup of Nations champions, the Super Falcons of Nigeria, are expected to return to action in October, barely 3 months after claiming an unprecedented 10th AFCON title. The coach Justin Madigu to the side will begin the defense of that title when they face Benin Republic in the qualifying stage of the 2025 WAFCON. The qualifiers would mark a crucial moment for the newly crowned African champions at the 2026 WAFCON and will be the qualifiers for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup. The semi-finalists at the 4th CAF Women's African Cup of Nations will qualify to represent Africa at the Quadrennial Women Football Fiesta. Nigerian music sensation Damini Ugulu, popularly known as Burna Boy, was the cynosure of all eyes as the Lionesses of England celebrated the successful defense of their UEFA European Women's Cup in front of over 65,000 fans that gathered outside the gates of Buckingham Palace. Burna Boy, who is one of the favorite musicians of the English women's coach Sarina Wiegman, lifted the crowd in wide jubilation and excitement as Wiegman joined Burna Boy in singing and rapping some of his songs.
But every single moment, you were there by my side. Whenever I'm broken, you make me feel whole. Whenever I'm lonely, you're there for my soul. Wherever you are, girl, that's where I call my own. Whenever you doubt it, I'll be letting you know. Whoa, girl, I want to be dancing with you forever. You see through the storm and take me as I am. Baby, it's magic anytime that way.
Wiegman, who spoke after the celebration, said she was a big fan of the Nigerian superstar, saying his presence at the celebrations was a double delight for her as the Lionesses' victory against FIFA Women's World Cup champions Spain and Sunday had drained the team. She, however, thanked the English fans for turning out in their numbers to welcome the newly crowned European Women Football champions. The Confederation of African Football (CAF) has revealed that the total prize money for the forthcoming Championship of African Nations (CHAN) has been increased to $10.4 million, making it 32% increase from the total prize money of the last edition. According to CAF, the winners of this year's edition will get $3.5 million, signaling a 75% increase from the money the winners of the last edition, Senegal, got. The camp show, which is organized for players plying their trade in their nation's domestic league, is expected to kick off on August 2 and end on the 30th with Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania as hosts. CAF said the second place team is expected to get $1.2 million, with third place team collecting $700,000, while fourth place team gets $600,000. Quarterfinalists will receive $450,000 each, with third place teams in the group stage collecting $300,000 each, while fourth place teams will go home with $200,000 each, and the fifth place team in a 5-team group also collects $200,000. President of CAF, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, said the new increase in prize money was aimed at raising the stakes and giving the competition global visibility. English Premiership side Newcastle United has revealed that star striker Alexander Isak's future is still unsure, as the player had requested to be allowed to join another club, while the club is yet to get an offer for the player. Newcastle manager Eddie Howe, who revealed this today, said the player, who is being chased by English Premiership champions Liverpool, had been left in the lurch as his £150 million release clause had sent potential suitors away, especially Liverpool, who have now turned their sight on the £79 million rated Hugo Ekitike. In a related development, Manchester United has revealed that the duo of Benjamin Sesko and Oli Watkins remain targets for the club as they continue the search for a top striker ahead of the kickoff of the new season next month. According to the 20-time English Premiership winners, both players remain priority for the club as they hope to end their goal drought, which was occasioned last season by the poor performances of Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee. Manchester United had its worst season in the English Premiership last season, after finishing just above the relegation zone. That's sports news. Perpetual returns shortly.
We sincerely apologize for that technical glitch. The Executive Assistant to the Governor on Public Enlightenment, Projects and Policies, Mr. Olise Fejika, has condoled with the Principal Secretary to the immediate past Governor of the state, Dr. Hilary Obioma Ibebulem, on the death of his father, Elder Gilbert Obi Ibebulem. Mr. Ifejika, who paid condolence on Dr. Ibebulem in his Asaba residence, described Elder Ibebulem as a role model and a man that raised his children in the fear of God, in addition to being an educationist that impacted on lives and humanity, and prayed God to grant his soul eternal rest. He urged Dr. Ibebulem and the entire family to take solace in the fact that their father died in Christ and lived a fulfilled life. Responding, Dr. Ibebulem thanked Mr. Ifejika and others who identified with the family since his father died few days ago. He paid glowing tributes to his late father for being the ladder that brought the family to limelight, pledging to ensure that his enviable legacies were promoted. It would be recalled that late Elder Gilbert Ibebulem died on Thursday, 24th July 2025. Dignitaries that visited the Ibebulem's family in their Utopu home were the State Deputy Governor, Samande Onyeme, immediate past Governor of the state, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, State Chairman of the APC, Elder Omeni Sobotie, Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Kingsley Emo, opinion leaders, traditional rulers, among others. Our thoughts for the day. Your direction is more important than your speed. A lot of people are going nowhere fast. To end the news, the main points again. First Lady Senator Oluremi Tinubu has donated 1 billion naira to victims of armed invaders' attack in Yelwata community of Guma local government area of Benue State. Recently, over 100 people were reportedly killed on the 9th of June 13 and early hours of June 14 in the rural Yelwata community, prompting the First Lady's donation to help survivors rebuild their lives. The state government has called on youth in Iwulu community and Nyocha South local government area to remain law-abiding and uphold the tenets of their customs and traditions. The special advisor to the state governor on peace building and conflict resolution, Chief Edwin Uzo, made the call during an appreciation visit by Iwulu youth to the state peace building team at his office in Asaba. The Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, has issued a 21-day notice of total and indefinite strike over the alleged failure of the federal government to address its long-standing demands. United Kingdom Prime Minister said the country will recognize a Palestinian state at the UN meeting in September unless Israel meets certain conditions. That ends the Delta TV News at 8. On behalf of the news production crew, my name is Perpetua Iboba. Thanking you so much for watching. Good evening.
Your day and have a good time. Kivo Creamer, even when you need to play your eyes. Kivo Creamer, when you need to have the break time. Kivo Creamer,